What's up, y'all? I hope everybody out there is happy and healthy. So let's go ahead and get down on this update as it pertains to the tragic passing of Kendrick Johnson. So back in 2013, Kendrick was 17 at the time, and unfortunately he passed away. He was found rolled up in a gym mat at his high school in Valdosta, Georgia. And just to give you guys an accurate date of Kendrick's passing, it actually took place on January 11, 2013. Now, initially, investigators along with the GBI concluded that Kendrick passed away due to positional asphyxia, but the family did not believe that. They hired a private pathologist who conducted a second autopsy, which concluded that Kendrick passed away from blunt force trauma to the neck. Now, there was a third autopsy that was performed, and they actually came back with the same autopsy report as the first one, saying that Kendrick passed away due to positional asphyxia. Now, during the second autopsy, something crazy was discovered. It was already very sinister that this kid passed away in the fashion that he did. Of course, we do not believe that he died from accidental positional asphyxia whatsoever. But like I said, during this second autopsy, check out what this man found.
When we got the body for the second autopsy, that organs, the heart, lungs, liver, etc., were not with the body.
The brain?
Brain, they were all absent.
What was in the place of the organs? Newspaper.
Just sick, right? Now, after Kendrick's passing, there were several students that were interviewed and questioned about what went down the day that Kendrick passed away, but there was two individuals, two brothers that were the primary focus, and that was Brian and Brandon Bell. And their father was an FBI agent as well. And so a couple of years after the tragic passing of Kendrick, federal agents actually executed search warrants at the homes of Brian and Brandon Bell, right? The two brothers. And so they seized their cell phones, computers, other electronic devices, and so forth and so on. Now, the warrants that they had for the Bell brothers were to gain evidence to investigate potential obstruction of justice or civil rights violations. But in 2017, according to an FBI report that analyzed surveillance footage, it concluded that Brian Bell was on another part of the campus and Brandon was on a bus for a wrestling match at the time of the incident, right? And so back in 2022, following the investigation, there were no charges filed against the Bell brothers, right? Now, just last month, a federal judge dismissed a $1 billion lawsuit that was filed by Kenneth and Jacqueline Johnson, which is the parents of Kendrick, regarding his passing back in 2013, and it was dismissed due to the statute of limitations and procedural flaws. Now, immediately following the dismissal of the $1 billion lawsuit, Kendrick's parents actually refiled again, and this time they went up substantially higher. They filed a $10 billion lawsuit, and within this lawsuit, it names these two judges right here, which would be Chief Judge Lee Martin May, that's on your left, and Judge Sarah Elizabeth Garrotti, that's on your right. And so the Johnsons are alleging within this lawsuit that the federal judges and officials are a part of a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. The Johnsons are also saying that the defendants issued materially false and fraudulent and felonious orders to dismiss previous legal actions without due process. So basically, in a nutshell, the Johnsons are saying that they're covering up what really happened to their son. And so ultimately, the Johnsons are seeking $5 billion in compensatory and $5 billion in punitive damages. Now, what's interesting about this particular case is that it was closed in 2022, only for Sheriff Ashley Polk to come out and say that this investigation is still ongoing, and he's offering a $500,000 reward for any information in the Kendrick Johnson case. But a lot of people are calling out the fact that he will not share the evidence with his own office and that he will not share the FBI materials with the Johnson family. And he's asking the community to trust him with tips while simultaneously refusing to be transparent with the very family whose child was found passed away at that particular high school. Now, Miss Jacqueline Johnson, the mother of Kendrick Johnson, she released some bombshell news on her Facebook, and I want to take the time to read what she actually said. Now, this was dated on April 15, 2026, and it says, alleged new photo evidence in Kendrick Johnson's deletion scandal has surfaced. It says the family of Kendrick Johnson is releasing to the public a photograph they received through anonymous and unknown sources that purports to be a lifeless body of their son Kendrick being dragged through the dark rooms and/or corridor of the Lowndes County High School old gymnasium after hours. Kendrick Johnson released his statement. "We only recently received a copy of this photograph and are currently considering the third-party claims as well as its authenticity. We believe the source was employed for the Lowndes County School District Information Technology Department when Kendrick was deleted. Preliminary analysis by our investigative teams determined the photo is not likely AI generated or a deep fake." Now, this is very interesting to say the very least, and no wonder the Sheriff Ashley is saying that the case is still ongoing, because I believe that this documentation and that picture is actually real. And he had no other choice but to come out and say that the investigation is still ongoing based off of this particular evidence, right? This is a real receipt in my estimation. Well, I hope it is, right? But it's been determined, it's been ran through the scanner that that particular document that was sent to the Johnson family is not AI. Now, I just want to say this, just looking at the pictures of Kenneth Johnson are just gruesome. I mean, it reminds me of how Emmett Till looked in his casket. I mean, for real, if we're going to keep it all the way 100, you know what I'm saying? It's right there in the same vicinity. And so I suggest, if you don't have a strong stomach or you don't have the mental capacity to handle those type of gruesome visuals, do not go to Jacqueline Johnson's Facebook page and look at the photos there, because I'm telling you, it's shocking. And it's infuriating, to say the least. But anyway, I'm going to sign off here, and I'm going to leave you with one clip of Jacqueline Johnson actually talking about this. This is Kendrick's mom, and I hope you guys drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Share this video as well, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll check you guys out later. Have a beautiful day.
County Courthouse in Valdosta, Johnson. I am the mother of Kendrick Johnson, and I am demanding justice for Kendrick Johnson. I will not be moved, no matter how long it takes, no matter what they try to do, no matter how they try to stop us. We will continue to demand justice for Kendrick Johnson. Kendrick was a 17-year-old that was found dead, rolled up in Valdosta, Georgia, rolled up in a mat, and nothing has been done about it. No matter how much evidence you give them, they never want to do nothing. This is the courthouse where a lot of black people get sent to jail, and a lot of them be innocent. But the ones that are guilty, they don't want to send them to jail. This is the city that not one white person has ever been found guilty of committing of a black child. This is the town, if you look them up, you'll see all the racism in there. It never gets easier, it never gets better here. People want to continue to do the same thing they've been doing for years and years, doing nothing, allowing all this to happen. So today I stand in front of this courthouse and I'm demanding justice for Kendrick Johnson. No matter how long it takes, no matter what it looks like, we will be heard about Kendrick Johnson. We've been fighting for 13 years and we will fight for 13 more if that's what it takes. We demand justice for Kendrick Johnson. No matter how long it takes, no matter what they say, Kendrick Johnson was killed at Lowndes High School. This is the courthouse right here, y'all, where they send plenty of black people to jail, innocent black people, and they never do anything about it. But this young man that they killed at Lowndes High School, that's my son. And I demand justice for him. I don't care what nobody think about me. I don't care who do and don't like me. I'm not here to be like, I'm the mother that's fighting for her child, and I demand justice.
My brother got at school where he was supposed to be safe at. And I feel like if this wasn't a cover-up, then why didn't any teachers or none of his football coaches or none of his basketball coaches or none of his track coaches show up to his funeral?